the key thing is by really giving yourself in visions. You got to have the right visions for each company, then finding the right people in those companies who can really take your vision to the next level.
Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me, I'm excited to have Vinney Chopra. Vinney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome, doing so great. I walked about an hour this morning and had the miracle morning, Todd, and just took a great shower and ready for the day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't believe I haven't had you on the show yet. And for some reason I haven't, but now you're on. So I'm super excited to talk to you. You're kind of all over everywhere. You're just a guy I think most people know. Part of what most people know is that you enjoy smiling a little bit, and you're just a happy guy and super positive. And reading about you, you came to the U.S. was it about 40 years ago or so, with $7 in your pocket. Is that correct?
Yep, that's totally correct.
Super cool. So we'll probably have to dive in a little bit to that, but a little bit about Vinney. He's a multifamily investor, syndicator, educator, motivator, podcaster, and he's also an author. And his diverse experience allowed him to develop proven techniques and strategy for multifamily syndications that have earned very impressive returns for himself and his investors. He manages 4 successful companies that include, is it Monil Investment Group?
Yeah, that's Monil. Our kids' name, Monica and Neil, kind of put together.
Cool. Yeah. Monil Management Group, Multifamily Academy, and Youth Academy. So, man, lots of stuff. And there's a lot more that I'm not, mentioning. So why don't you tell our listeners a bit more about your background, and then we'll dive in.
Sure, Todd. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Yeah, no, it's exciting. I grew up in very poor, medium family, poor family, 6 siblings in New Delhi, India. I was born there and I wanted to be an engineer. So I became one. But then I said, no, I need to do MBA, Masters in Business Administration. That's where I came here to this country with $7. My uncle sponsored me, because you had to have a sponsor. So he was able to actually lodge me, by the way, for 2.5 years. Literally, wow. I am so thankful to him and his wife and his children, And then I sold Bibles and encyclopedias door to door. Door to door, literally. Coming 3 months into this country.
Wow.
And my friend said, what are you doing for summer? I said, I don't know anything. My thick accent was there. Still people can understand me. That back then, nobody could understand me. I said, okay, let's get out there. My desire to really win has been always there. So I said, okay, let me get out there. And that changed my career, actually. I became a salesperson and a sales consultant and a marketing and motivational consultant, by the way. So that led us into real estate about 40 years back, into single family homes, and all the monies we could save, we kept on buying single family homes all over USA. But then they were not making the money that we wanted. And that's when I dug deep into multifamily 15 years back.
Oh, wow. So how's sales? You came from India. You said you got the thick accent. Even today you've got the accent, but I can understand every word you said. But yes. I would imagine back then, and when you first jumped into sales, it's even more thick. It's harder for you to understand. So, was there that limiting belief that people aren't going to be able to understand what I say, and should I do it? Should I not? Or were you just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Exactly. That's exactly what my attitude was.
That's what it was.
I said, yeah, hey, what's the best way to earn money, right? I mean, I've got $7 in my pocket. I didn't want to ask my uncle for more money, even
Yeah.
though he gave me 3 blank checks. I remember he says, in few days you'll be sick and you'll probably just cash this check and come back home, right? I remember that. But
Wow.
by just saying to my friend said, hey, I went there last year. I sold some books and educational books and Bibles and all, and I'm going back again. And I just like to take risks, in my life. I mean, if it's something which can really make something happen, I'm there for it, right? So that's what was the thing. And
Yeah.
then people were so nice to me because they couldn't understand me. So I knock on the doors, they say, yeah, come on in. So
That's
that
funny.
even built my confidence. And then got a lot of rejections. Todd, oh my gosh, buddy. We were working 13 hours a day, 80 hours a week, by the way. This
Wow.
company is the oldest company in the South, and they're the direct sales company, Southwestern. .com. I love to mention their name. Why not? They started in 1855. They're still going strong after 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing is they taught me and they gave me 7 books, I think, 7 books.
Hmm.
You Can Grow Rich, Dale Carnegie's How to Influence People, Win Friends, and then all these positive, Charlie Tremendous Jones, you name it, all these
Yeah.
books. And Vincent Norman Peale, I remember Positivity, and we were asked to read them quickly.
Yeah.
So that's what got me going, and I kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot of rejection, a lot of slamming on doors, but then that got me more tougher and tougher.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I think sales experience for anybody is probably extremely valuable,
Yeah.
but sales experience for somebody who comes from a different country, I would imagine, is like drinking from a fire hose. You're taking those training wheels off and you're just going for it. So I can imagine that would be an experience in itself. So did you end up getting your MBA?
I did
Did you
at
ever
George
do any engineering?
Washington. Yeah, George Washington University. I
Yeah.
did it in 2.5 years because I had engineering background. I
Yeah.
had to do some prerequisites when I came to the USA, Washington, D.C. But they took me 2.5 years,
Okay.
full time in the sense with these graduation courses are
Yeah.
at the evening.
Yeah.
So I was, yeah, yeah.
Did you ever use that degree then? Were you an
Can you
engineer?
believe it? Oh my gosh, my engineering, I worked as a Larsen Toubro, which is one of the finest companies in Bombay, in India, as a heavy fabrication master planner. And I resigned after about 11 months when I came here. Never have I gone back to engineering. It's been totally sales, motivation, marketing,
Yeah.
and real estate.
That's it's funny how life takes you in different paths that
Yeah,
what you think you're supposed to go. But if you
yeah.
allow, you know, the universe or God to push you the way you're supposed to go, you'll end up, you know,
I
more
really
successful,
believe
more
in what you're
happy.
saying, Todd. So true, so true.
Yeah.
Almighty, I respect all religions. And I'm a Hindu. And, the key thing is Almighty force guides us.
Yeah.
And we should let them guide us. That's the key thing. By keeping the mind open, number one, and also abundance.
Yeah.
Mindset is very, very important in
Yeah.
achieving success in anything. And that is the real big success of my whatever little I have done so far, is that I'm very positive person. And also I feel whatever is happening in my life, it is because that's my karma. We call
Yeah.
it karma, my
Yeah.
doings. If I'm doing it right to all the people around me, right, then I will be leading a good path, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. But having goals has been a big thing. And, in the
Mm,
pillars of success, like your podcast is, right? Having the right attitude, mindset, and not be afraid to take on risks, small risks, and calculated risks, I call it. Many times we overanalyze things and then we paralyze ourselves.
yeah. 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 I get a lot of people that ask me, what's the key to success, and or what, it's first of all, there's no key, right? There's no like one thing that you have to
No.
do, but one of the big steps that you have to do is you have to take action.
Yeah. Oh,
You're never going to have success unless you got to take action. You can't let that, like you just said, you can't let yourself be paralyzed
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
by your indecisiveness or your fear or whatever is holding you back. You just can't let that happen.
You cannot. You're so right. I say moving the needle
Yeah.
is kind of like in my terms, but you're so right. Every day is a new day. It's a
Hmm.
gift, right? God
Hmm.
given gift, and we can utilize that gift. I mean, metaphorically, if a gift is there, we got to open it nicely
Yeah.
at start of the day. We all have 24 hours, right? But then how we spend that time is so important. So moving to action on the right activities is the main thing, I
Mm.
believe. If you can control our schedules, control our mind, and only focus on the right important things, then only we can be successful, right? And that's the pillar of wealth. One thing, Stephen Covey, I think, in one of his book, Seven Habits, and then
Yep.
Eighth Habit, he talks about a jar of, whole jar. He put some pebbles, he put some stones and sand, and then he put water in it and everything. Then he says, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to put these big four rocks in the jar." He tried to put them later on after the whole jar was full. The water started spilling and the sand starts to come out, and still he couldn't put the rocks. Then he said, "Okay, let me look at this over here with the jar again." He put those four rocks in first. Then he put the pebbles and the gravel and then the sand and the water. Everything fit really well.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how our life is. That's exactly how our day is. Many times we while away so many unimportant things, take away our time, but the most important things are left behind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why prioritizing and delegating and mindset, those are the three words I really concentrate on my desk. Prioritizing, delegation, and mindset is comes on the top or at the bottom, both sides. But the big thing is that's where it's all about, to really using the time effectively. Alan Lankin wrote that book many, many years back. I bought it. I bought thousands of books like everybody listening to us. But what do we take from that, right? That's more important.
And how do
It's
we
not reading
implement
the
them?
whole book and
Yeah.
finding, okay, I learned a lot, but if we don't implement
Yeah.
one, two, or three things, it's not worth it. Yeah.
I love that story, the rock story. I mean, just those are your rocks, right? And that's you can literally think about what are my rocks every day? What are
Yeah.
my rocks that I'm going to put in every single day? And then after we get done with our rocks, we're done with our four rocks or three rocks or whatever it is that we need to get done, then we
Yes.
can fill in with the sand and
Yeah.
with all the other ingredients, all the other stuff,
Yeah.
right? The little to-do lists,
Yeah.
fill that in later. We got to
Yeah.
get the rocks done. I love that. That's a great
Ah.
little story. Um, so you started with single family houses, and you said you switched over then to multifamily. Why? What was wrong with the single family that you decided to switch over to the multifamily?
Single family, actually, we couldn't manage them ourselves, like in Arizona, in Atlanta, in Texas, things like that. California, even Bakersfield, which is a little far away from us. We always gave, even Modesto, 1 hour away from us, right? We never really wanted to get phone calls at the middle of night, the toilets
Yeah.
are clogged up or things like that. So my wife said, let's just make sure we get property management companies doing, managing them.
Yeah.
So they charge a lot of money. They do 10%, 8%,
Yeah.
of the rents. And then leases, they charge half the month or full month. And then for repairs, they charge extra money. So at the end of the day, we just saw not too much was made, right? And we said, okay, if you want to save for college education for our two children, Neil and Monica, and fortunately they went to Berkeley and UCLA and all. But the key thing was, how can we scale up? How can
Yeah.
we save more money at the end of the day, right? That's when I got into commercial real estate. I became a broker in 2005, I think, right, 16 years back, but I didn't want to sell or buy, homes, because that was not our lifestyle with little
Yeah.
kids and all. So I said, let me look into office space. Let me look into shopping centers. Then I stumbled into multifamily. I said, oh my gosh, having 20 homes in one lot,
Yeah.
20 dwellings, one or two roofs to take care of, and have economies of scale and everything, it just made sense to me as an engineer. Then I dug deeper and deeper and deeper. I found Dave Lindahl's book. By the way, I'd love to give him credit. He was the early starter in whole USA, by the way. A landscaper guy turned into multifamily guru.
Yeah.
And they're still strong,
I
right?
just had Dave on the show, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful person. I had it on my show. I was on his show too. Wonderful fellow. And thank you. Yeah. And I bought both of his books. And I even bought his course for 400 on eBay. Somebody sold it to me, and I listened to it CDs. They were not DVDs,
Yeah,
CDs.
right.
Then I met him after 2 years in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then I joined his classes and his whole coaching and everything, and spent good money. Over 100,000 I spent with my teams and everybody, but that's where is the real reason I'm making millions now, literally. Because when you start small, you start putting extra zeros on the right side then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So when and what was your first deal? How many units and when was that?
Sure. We bought a duplex. We still own it, by the way, still in Odessa, Texas.
Okay.
It makes me probably 1,600 a month profit.
There you go.
Very nice. We bought 14 units, 14 units in Odessa, Texas also. And for 180,000, we have sold it now for 380. Then we bought 109 units, then 64 units, then 72 units, then 192 units, and we got up to 4,700 units, by the way.
That's really good. That's great. Yeah, it all started with just a couple little books.
Yep.
And quite frankly, it's funny you mentioned Dave Lindahl, because those were the first books that I read.
Yes.
And I was at basically a guru fest in the Twin Cities back in 2008 or 9. I think it was 2009. And there was all the gurus. There was Lindahl was there, and there was all kinds of, somebody was teaching about wholesaling, somebody was teaching about flipping, somebody was teaching about every little thing. And the only one that spoke to me that was like, wow, this is amazing, was Dave Lindahl. And I listened to him speak, and I'm like, I got to do that. So that's pretty cool.
Totally. No, I really give a lot of credit and praise to him. And I know there are a lot of coaches now.
Right.
Most of us have learned from the master.
Yeah. A lot of people have learned from him, and maybe you didn't necessarily learn from him, but you learned from somebody who learned from him. He definitely was one of the only educators at the time, and he's done a great job giving a lot of information away to a lot of people.
Totally.
And people are giving it forward. So let's talk about some success habits. We've maybe dove in a little bit. You've talked about mindset. You've talked about prioritizing, staying focused. Anything else that comes to mind? Like what are your personal habits that you do on either a daily basis or maybe it's a weekly basis? What are your must do's to make sure you're having a successful day?
Totally. I would say starting with Miracle Morning, I would say, Elrod, and even just going on YouTube is my biggest teacher. YouTube and Google are my biggest teacher.
You watch like cat videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I love to watch, something which is in my mind. I just
Yeah.
say it's got to be explained somewhere, right? So Todd, that's how I start with gratitude, with paying homage to, where I am and
Yeah.
thanking God for what He's given me, and my family and everything. The biggest thing is exercising. You got to get your mind right,
Hmm.
but your body right.
Yeah.
I'll be 70 next year, 70, you know and the key thing is how to keep yourself so excited, so
Yeah.
pumped up, is taking care of the temple. Our body is a temple, and eating right, exercising, great gratitude in the morning, all that. Okay, now comes the goal setting. You got to set goals, small goals, big goals, 5-year goals, 3 years, but then weekly goals and daily goals, because this life is nothing if we don't know in the morning what you're going to accomplish that day, you know? And then setting appointments is huge in my business,
Yeah.
with investors, with brokers, with attorneys, with family offices, with all these, right? They are the people who are going to grow the companies, right? And then my team members, my vice presidents, how many I meet on Tuesdays, how many I meet on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I plan this whole week a good structure. I'm a systems guy. Literally, I'm a systems guy. I find the right team members. At the top, I had 135 team members. Look at this guy who just started in multifamily. And then we got into so big, huge, that we had integrated our management companies and everything. And then I built the academy, which is one of the very top academy with 1,000 lectures now. 1,000
Wow.
lectures. Anyway, and then senior living. Now I'm really living the dream, which I want to help with the silver tsunami, my fellow citizens who need a lot of help in the silver housing. And we are into assisted living and memory care now, which is
Okay, Vinny, this is crazy because I am now in doing senior
oh,
assisted
you
living
are.
and memory care. We started doing this last year.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so yeah, I love it. So how long have you been doing that?
I found a very good friend of mine. Shahid is his name, from Pakistan. He
Mhm.
came when he was 17 years of age. He's 38, 39 right now. He's been building senior assisted living for
Sure.
10 years.
Okay.
10 years. He's from Michigan.
Yeah,
And now we are building 5 projects together right now in 1 year.
that's
I
great.
raised $18 million last year in the COVID, and we are building from scratch. I will send you the video,
That's
how
great.
quickly we build it. It's so wonderful to talk to you, Todd.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the industry has obviously it's a great growth industry when you look at the
yes,
demographics,
yes,
but it's an industry with a lot of needs, and I think you're serving a very good cause if you're doing it
yeah,
right. Obviously,
yes,
you still got to do it right, but
yeah.
if you're doing it right, if you're serving the residents that are going to be living at your buildings the proper way, I think it's an amazing industry to be in. So I love
Oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you. And we are going bonkers. I mean, my goal
That's great.
now is 2 billion with a B. Oh my gosh. I mean, you say mindset, right? In the next 9 years, I want to really purchase, build, and all that 2 billion in senior assisted living and memory care.
Wow.
And that's where, I know it's going to happen because we are meeting with people. I could start 6 projects right now today if I can get construction loan financing. So
Hmm.
it's taking us a little bit time to get construction loan because we build everything in 10 months, 77,000 square feet, 6 to 7 acres of lot we buy. We pass the ordinance changes and we get all the demographical studies done and everything, right? And then
Yep.
we build it with 100 workers to 150 a day.
Yep.
And then that's how we are able to then manage them also. When it's 70% built, we hire executive directors, leasing agents, and we want to have 40% occupancy the day we open that assisted living and memory
Hmm.
care. So there is a huge demand. Yeah, yeah.
Are you guys doing the management, or are you bringing in
Everything.
You are. Okay.
We are managing vertically
You're vertically
ourselves.
integrated. Yep.
Yeah, everybody's on our payroll, caregivers. We give them
Yep.
6 weeks of training. We pay them a little bit more. These are young girls and guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who really
Mm-hmm.
want to give themselves, they're
Yep.
young, to give the older generation, right? Seniors
Yep.
for their golden years, because this is 80 years of age, 83, 84, 90 years of age. So you have to have compassion.
Yep.
And that's what in our, I'd love to mention your audience if they would like to see the video. It's on Hampton Manor is our brand, hamptonmanor.co. .co, and that's where we have the construction videos, the fully developed videos of the senior livings and all. We put libraries, we put, of course, the salons, spas, putting greens, swing pools, of course, dining halls, private meeting rooms, sunrooms,
Yeah.
and libraries, the billiard rooms, grand pianos, high chandelier. I mean, everything really, total luxury. And
Yeah.
we charge only $4,500
Wow.
for
What?
everything, all included, for 3 meals,
Yep.
snacks,
Yep.
lodging,
Well,
caregiving,
in full care, right? I mean,
full care,
that's
full
that's
care.
the thing. There's 24-hour care. It's
Yes, yes,
full
yes,
full care for these
yes,
residents. They're whatever needs they have, they're getting served.
yes.
What states are you in? Are you all kind of all
We
over?
are
Or are
in
you
Michigan.
specific?
We built
Michigan.
a lot in Michigan. We are right now in Virginia.
Mm.
We are in Florida, building at 8 locations in Florida alone in just 1 year. We are going to Texas, into Arizona, into Missouri, all over.
All
Our
over.
goal is come from the East, into Carolinas
Yeah.
and Marylands. And then I'm just talking to somebody who wants us to build in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area also. And then we're going to come to California, where I am at, right? So that's going to take us few years, but we are traveling this whole wave of Hampton Manors all over USA.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh,
That's
thank
really cool. That's exciting, and you're serving a big need
Oh, yeah,
by
yeah.
doing
So
that. So
true.
really cool.
So true. It's so good feeling when I see the smiles on our golden generation
Yeah.
who spoiled us. We are
Yeah.
trying to spoil them now with luxuries, because that's their last part of life,
Yeah.
literally, and we want to give them the best of the best experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool industry, and
Yes.
I mean the population is going to increase. The people that are 80 years or older over the next, what is it, 10 years, less
Mhm.
than 10 years, is going to increase by over 50%.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
And so it's just amazing how many people are going to be needing that service in assisted living. And 70% of all adults will eventually need some sort of assisted living
Yes.
services. And so it's just a huge population.
It is
And
huge. What you just said is so right. We have 54.7 million in seniors now, 65 plus.
Yep.
And it's going to be close to 100 million. 100 million. 100 million out of 340. We probably will stay at that, same number, right? Population total.
Yeah.
That's 1/3, almost 1/3 of population will be older folks,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you got the assisted living, you got the multifamily. What else you got going on? Anything else? I mean, that's it.
No. Actually, lots of things. We are buying. I just started a $50 million fund,
Oh, you did?
506C fund. That's my
Okay.
35th syndication now to date. And also I'm selling some really great deals I bought in Orlando, 52 million 2 years back. We just signing a contract with the brokerage. They gave us BPO of 65 million. What?
Nice.
52 to 65. We just bought 308 units in Austin, Texas, in COVID, September of last year, 2020, and it's worth 10 million more. I cannot believe my mind.
Are you selling it already?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, 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 no.
okay.
We want to go
Not
from
ready.
35 million to maybe 60 million. In Austin is the hottest market around, and the
Yep.
cap rates are shrinking, everything. So
Yep.
in a multifamily, buying hotels is another thing I'm doing.
Are
I
you?
feel hotels is multifamily to its core, where you can increase the prices. There are five prices every night. The other thing is people have to pay up front to go sleep the night or 2 or 3 nights. We
Yep.
bought a Hilton Garden Inn with my buddies, my friends, and it's doubled in value after COVID. I cannot
Really?
believe it because the medical staff chose our hotel, Hilton Garden Inn, to live in this city. So my partners love that market. I love it too because a lot of cost segregation benefits are there, tax
Yeah.
benefits for investors. We do cost segregation always, of course, but then that's the multifamily side. We are building senior assisted living. After about 2 or 3 years stabilization, I'm purchasing them, cashing out the investors who brought me, built it and give them close to 23%. I mean, 18 to 23% per year,
Yep.
they are making. But anyway, then I'm also buying multifamily. And then, of course, senior assisted livings and hotels. And then my academy. I'm really spending a lot of time in writing. 2 books are already on Amazon. My third book is coming out as Senior Living Investing Made Easy. That's my third book. And then our academy is getting lots of new uh, uh, special, additions so that I could provide knowledge at a very, very ineffective, very low price. That's what my goal is. If I can teach 1 million people at a very low price, that's where my goal is really. Yeah.
That's cool. So you're doing a lot. You've got many things that you're juggling in the air. How are you doing it all? What are you doing? I can't imagine you're doing everything yourself.
To be truthful, again, the teams of people
Yeah.
are the best people who build your companies and business, not the building structures or anything. I believed in that. I've always worked from my office in home for 44 years. I never had outside office in my life. And the key thing is by really giving yourself in visions, you got to have the right visions for each company, then finding the right people in those companies who can really take your vision to the next level. Yeah, I would say, like it's actually having the vision and then goal setting, right? It all boils down to what kind of goals you're setting with your team and
Yeah.
how we're progressing, right? On a monthly basis, quarterly basis, yearly basis, all those things.
Right.
So nothing uncommon, right? But the biggest thing is moving the needle.
Yeah. Yeah. Always moving forward, never moving backward. Right. Always trying to figure out how can we go to the next level. That's really good. I love it. Yeah. You're building some amazing things.
Thank you.
You've got a great attitude. I love it. So, all right, Vinny, I'm going to ask just a couple last questions and then we'll wrap up. So
Sure.
My last questions here I got for you. And I think I know the answer to this one, but maybe you got more stuff that you're going to surprise me with. How do you like to give back?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that. My wife and I are philanthropy quite a bit. We've been doing it since we had some money, little money, more money, all the way. We have built schools. We have built, handicapped schools. We have given orphanages, in Africa, in India. We are very involved locally in the hunger and the seniors, we give, and we have foundations, 2 foundations. I just raised money for charity water, about $15,000. I donated 5,000. That's a small amount, but the big thing is to keep coming back, giving back. That's so true, and I encourage everybody to give back, because if we give back, God gives us more. I believe in that.
Yeah, I truly believe in that myself as well. Books. What's your favorite book that you can pass on to our listeners?
There are so many great books. I would definitely say to the listeners, please look for this one, Miracle Morning, by Hal Elrod, my good friend. And then he also wrote a Miracle Equation. That's another great one. I mean, I just feel like if we set our mind right, if we take care of our body, everything will be possible in our life. So I would say this one, and Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. That's the other book. I'll say two books, right? Eckhart Tolle, amazing, amazing author. And now my wife and I, we listen to his podcast also with Oprah Winfrey, Super Soul. Very nice series. It's all free. It's totally free. Please look into that.
Yeah, there's so much great free information out there.
Yes,
it's amazing. And then dig in. I mean, it's just crazy how much knowledge there is that's out available for everyone to capture. So, all right. So last question. What are your 3 pillars of wealth creation?
My 3 pillars, I would say the biggest pillar is being positive, and taking any challenge that comes on my way with chin up and find a solution fast. Don't get down on it and say, hey, how did it really happen? Why me, God? Just being positive and taking action to overcome that. Second, definitely, I would say my pillar is goal setting. I will really say that, because if we don't have goals in life, we won't reach where we want to reach. Many times people think I have goals in my mind. I say, no. You got to write it down. And then you look at your goals morning, evening, night. You give feedback on those goals. If they are really important goals, you'll be moving further. Moving the needle on those goals, right? So feedback is important. And the third of all, be happy. Be happy. We were very happy family when I was young. I was very happy. My name is Vinod, by the way, Vinod. My parents gave me the right name. In Hindi language, it means happiness. Oh my gosh. So I had to live up to my name, So Vinod in Hindi language is happiness. And I, smile also. I started smiling 44 years back when I was selling books. And my trophies, they took my middle name out, Todd, literally, and they put in parenthesis smile, literally. They said Vinod or Vinney Smile Chopra. And since then, 44 years back, I've been using that signature.
I love it. Well, and it stands out. And every picture, of course, is a picture of your big old smile. And it says Vinny Smiles. And so everybody knows you're like the happy, smiley, just energetic guy. And that's just how it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for inviting me on your show. God bless you. And, if anybody wants to reach me, please just, go on my vinneychopra.com. That's VINNEY Chopra.com. You could interact with me. You could email me, text me. I listen to, and, with my managers and all, we reply to all the emails and texts and all that. Yeah.
Vinny, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll put all that stuff in the show notes so our listeners can reach out to you, connect, and just hear what you've got going on. You got so much going on. You've got so much great information to give everybody with, what did you say, over 1,000 lectures?
Yes, videos.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's so much. And we also provide, I would love to say that, a lot of times courses, you go through them, but you don't get actionable things. We provide everything, every PowerPoint I've made, every Excel worksheet. Our students ask us, investors, and I coach myself every Wednesday, 2 hours, almost 2 hours, and we record them. So we have thousands of hours of those recordings also, which are not in the, they are in the evergreen courses also, which we open up everything. And so anyway, if anybody's interested, please reach out to us. We'd love to help. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, again, really appreciate it. Took a lot from this, and I know my listeners did as well.
Thank you, Todd. You take care, buddy. God bless you. And thank you, and see you sometime. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.